The city zoo was unusually crowded that warm spring afternoon. Families moved from enclosure to enclosure, laughing, pointing, children holding balloons and cotton candy. The air was filled with the mingled scents of popcorn, animal feed, and fresh flowers blooming along the garden trails. A little boy sat quietly on a bench near the tiger exhibit, legs swinging, his face pale and eyes distant. Few people paid attention until a retired police dog, visiting with a veteran handler for a school event, suddenly broke from his leash and bolted, barking ferociously. The noise silenced the crowd. A baby cried. Someone screamed. "Stop that dog!" someone yelled. But what happened next stunned everyone. 6 hours earlier, Sergeant Aaron Hayes had been invited to the city zoo with his retired canine partner, Bolt, a Belgian Malinois with a decorated record. They were scheduled to speak to a class of third graders about animal safety and the work of police dogs. Aaron, a widower and a quiet man, owed his life to Bolt, who had saved him during a hostage situation 5 years ago. Since Bolt's retirement, the two were inseparable. That morning, as they passed the flamingo pond on their way to the amphitheater, Aaron felt uneasy. Something felt off. Bolt kept sniffing the air, unusually tense. Aaron chalked it up to excitement, maybe old instincts resurfacing because of the zoo's many animals. What they didn't know was that an Amber Alert had been issued just hours earlier. 7-year-old Noah, a foster child, had gone missing from a city bus stop. His file described him as quiet, introverted, and deeply anxious. The suspect? Unknown. No camera footage. Just a missing boy with a red hoodie and a paper dinosaur clutched in his hand. Noah had already been through more than most children ever should. Passed from foster home to foster home, he struggled to trust anyone. His current foster mother, Maria Lopez, had only been caring for him 3 weeks. He had just started opening up, asking questions about dinosaurs and outer space. That morning, Maria had sent him off to school, never imagining he wouldn't arrive. As Aaron prepped for the talk, Bolt refused to stay still. He paced, whined. Then he stopped, ears erect, eyes locked on something in the distance. A red hoodie, legs swinging on a bench near the tiger cage, and a man beside the boy, hunched, talking low, too close. Aaron followed Bolt's gaze, heart racing. There was something off about the way the man sat, keeping his face hidden, one arm wrapped protectively, but not lovingly, around the child. Before he could react, Bolt broke loose. Gasps rang out as Bolt bolted toward the bench, barking so loudly the peacocks nearby scattered. Parents screamed. A security guard reached for his walkie-talkie. But Bolt wasn't attacking the boy. He was going after the man beside him. The man jumped up, but too late. Bolt tackled him to the ground. Something shiny clattered across the pavement. A blade, a folded cloth. Aaron ran. "Bolt, heel!" he commanded. Bolt obeyed instantly, standing guard while the man lay face down, hand twisted awkwardly beneath him. Within seconds, security arrived, followed by zoo police. The boy was Noah. He had been taken by a former foster care worker, a man with a sealed disciplinary record and unhealthy obsession with vulnerable children. After police investigation, the details became clear. That morning, the man had waited near Noah's usual school bus stop, wearing a fake staff lanyard and holding a clipboard. He calmly approached and said, "Your school bus isn't coming today. I've been asked to take you directly to school." Noah hesitated, but after so many foster homes, so many new faces, he was used to sudden changes. Without another word, he followed. The man drove him to a dingy apartment for a few hours, then later took him into the zoo using prepaid tickets, walking closely beside him, keeping him quiet with whispered threats. He never expected a retired police dog to recognize the fear on Noah's face or bring it all crashing down. When asked why he didn't run or call out, Noah whispered, "He said he'd hurt me if I said anything." Then he looked at Bolt and added, "But the dog wasn't scared." News spread fast. First, retired police dog causes panic at zoo. Then, hero canine saves missing child moments before attack. Bolt became a hero once again. A second time in his life, he had saved someone. That night, as the zoo emptied and reporters lingered, Aaron sat near Bolt's kennel in quiet reflection. He thought of all the cases they'd handled, all the nights Bolt had stood between him and danger. "You never really retired, did you?" he whispered, stroking Bolt's head. Maria's foster mother came later, eyes filled with tears. She dropped to her knees in front of Bolt, hugging him like family. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice trembling. "You brought him back to me." In the weeks that followed, Noah began smiling again. He wrote stories about Bolt, drew pictures. He even wore a tiny collar charm with Bolt's name engraved, a gift from Aaron. His drawings hung on the fridge at home, pictures of him riding on Bolt's back like a knight, of Bolt standing guard over him while he slept. One day, Noah asked softly, "Can Bolt visit my school?" Aaron smiled. He'd love that. Bolt went on to become a quiet legend in the community, visiting classrooms, comforting nervous kids at court, appearing at adoption fairs. To children, Bolt wasn't a retired dog. He was proof that someone brave could always be watching. During one school visit, a boy with selective mutism gently reached out and patted Bolt's head. The teacher's eyes welled up. He hadn't spoken in weeks. In another classroom, a girl going through chemotherapy found peace just sitting next to Bolt, her fingers resting on his fur. Aaron watched all this with quiet pride. Bolt wasn't just saving lives in emergencies. He was healing hearts, one child at a time. That shiny color tag with Bolt's name, it became a token, a reminder, a silent promise. Aaron had dozens made, each etched with the simple words, "I am brave like Bolt." They were handed out in classrooms, courthouses, shelters, wherever children needed a symbol of courage. And it wasn't just children. One afternoon, Maria, Noah's foster mother, visited Aaron. She was quiet, thoughtful. Then she handed him an envelope. Inside were adoption papers. "I'm keeping him," she said, eyes glistening. "I think he finally feels safe." Aaron hugged her. Bolt barked once, tail wagging. In that moment, something shifted. What had begun as rescue had become family. As years passed, Bolt grew older. His muzzle grayed, his steps slowed. But his eyes remained alert, wise, always watching. Noah never stopped visiting. He came every weekend with new stories, old jokes, and fresh drawings. On one of those visits, Noah, now 10, asked, "Do you think I could be a police officer one day?" Aaron nodded. "You already have the heart of one." Because sometimes the loudest warning doesn't come from a scream. Sometimes the safest place is beside something that growls. And sometimes a hero walks quietly on 4 legs and never asks for things.